Hey guys, it's Mike here, and welcome to another video we're bringing you here today on Dragon Ball Super, in which we're going to be talking about an interesting topic that I don't believe anyone else has really talked about recently, and I feel like it might be an interesting concept, and that is, will Dragon Ball Super reintroduce the Oozaru or Great Ape transformation in the series, or really, should they, and how would it be able to be used if they did? And to join me today, I have somebody who's going to help me with this subject, and his name is...
Alright, Geek Army, is Geekdom 101 here again. No, it's Dragon Ball Nation, guys. How's it going? That was a really good Danny impression, wasn't it? I didn't even try.
Oh, yeah.
It sounded just like him.
Really sounded like he tried there.
Yep. Well, people do get me confused in my Q&A with him, but, that's another story.
But anyway, we're going to be talking about the Oozaru transformation and, if that'll be brought back in the show. Now, Josh, I don't know about what you think, but I think it'd be actually pretty cool if they did, in fact, bring the form back. Because really, when you think about it, and let's think about it this way, Goku and Vegeta, for a very long time now, are trying to get stronger, obviously. That's their goal. That's basically what they're trying to accomplish as characters, and they're trying to, and it's been made clear ever since the Battle of Gods arc, surpass Beerus and, I guess, Whis. So, essentially, how are they going to be able to do this once they already said, when they were going to go into the hyperbolic time chamber, they were nearing their limits, as we've talked about before, and, it seems like, even with, say, the 10 times Kaioken, these guys still aren't approaching Beerus, so maybe another transformation that doesn't really have the drawbacks of a Kaioken that'll just destroy your body, that still gives you a 10 times or even more multiplier could be in store. What do you think, Josh?
I mean, I could see the benefits of it. How effective would it be, depending on if Goku can really control the form? Obviously, they have to have tails first. That would be the first step, but,
Oh, yeah, I mean, they'd have to pull him back out just like they did in GT.
But, well, people are going to have their stuff to say about GT, but, I mean, it has its benefits. Is it something I really want to see? Personally, no. I don't think that it's something that really needs to come back in terms of just the quality of the show. It's just something I don't think would really feel right, in my opinion, just to come back. It just seems like one of those things that would be almost shoved in there just to make more toys. It doesn't seem like something that I realistically would see approach the series. That's just my opinion, and I don't really think they're going to add it, but I do see the benefits of what, if it did happen, it would obviously add some benefits and wouldn't really have many drawbacks if they can control it, obviously.
I mean, that's the whole main reason why I had thought of it, because Goku used that 10 times Kaioken, at least in the anime, and when he used that form, he was able to get 10 times stronger than his blue form, and I guess was getting maybe close to Beerus at that point. We don't really know, I guess.
I mean, depending on when that QAAMAN interview was even done, right?
Exactly. So ultimately, it makes me wonder if, he can't really use Kaioken that much now because it'll destroy his body and makes it hard for him to regulate his ki afterwards. So if he had this other form that really Goku only ever really used in Dragon Ball and he never had the ability to control, whereas Vegeta has the ability to control, if they somehow use that and maybe, instead of like a golden Oozaru like they had in GT, they have like a blue Oozaru, or they have, an Oozaru fused with God Ki, they could become 10 times stronger with really no drawbacks. And even the manga, because in the manga, as we know, Goku didn't use the 10 times Kaioken, he instead used Super Saiyan God as its own form, and then he used blue on top of that. So with the blue form, as Josh, I mean, you can elaborate right now, what are some of the drawbacks, at least in the anime and manga, of that blue form, and do you think maybe there's another form they should try and use instead of it?
Well, I mean, in the manga, they made it seem like they basically said after Vegeta went blue, then went base form, then went blue again, he was only at 10% of, I believe, what his maximum blue form could have been, which I don't know where in the world we talked about this before, I don't know where Tortar even got that from. In the anime, it's pretty heavily implied from the tournament arc that they use Super Saiyan to conserve the energy, but blue still has never been shown to drain that much, never anywhere near to the level that the manga made it seem. Obviously, we don't see them turning on and off blue form a million times, but I'm pretty sure they're not really going that route in the anime, how the manga's making the blue form seem. I mean, for crying out loud, it seems like it's a pretty stable form for the most part. Look at how Goku fought Golden Frieza, he outlasted him pretty damn well, right?
I mean, the only thing I can think of is that maybe the anime just just didn't convey it very well, because in the anime, Goku is talking to Hit, and Hit says, "Did you forget to transform?" And he says, "No, that transformation takes up a lot of stamina, or uses a lot of stamina, so I'm not going to use it until I figure out your strategy."
Maybe in comparison to the regular Super Saiyan, I suppose, but...
I mean, it is possible. It's just that, maybe if they're going to try and move in the direction of the manga, which heavily contradicted the anime in that final fight, they would probably try and figure out either a way to master the Super Saiyan Blue, to bring back the red form, and maybe master that instead of using blue, just to use the red like they would use the normal Super Saiyan, or just, bring along another transformation like Oozaru. I mean, if they really need to, maybe they can condense the Oozaru form down, and then they could have blue hair all over their bodies, and they could wear leather pants, and they could fuse into blue Gogeta and fight Alpha Shenron, or, some bullshit that would be totally ripped off of GT.
Right. Again, going back to, obviously we don't think that's really going to be in the show again, Oozaru. I think that's kind of a thing that's just been left back into the Saiyan arc, basically. It was kind of like one of those big core themes of that arc. Even obviously regular Dragon Ball, but just, yeah, I agree with the benefits of it. It would be interesting to see it come back. Is it something that they really would work towards, though? Because how plausible, I suppose, is it to, put up Blutz waves every time or whatever, that Blutz wave emitter in every fight? I mean, there's a lot of different aspects, I guess, you look at it. There's tons of different ways, or, fighting in the dark.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, though, GT did kind of forget that, Vegeta can just create a false moon with his own power and just use the Blutz wave that way. I mean, he doesn't really have to have a Blutz wave machine. Like, if they go to the Omniversal Tournament, they could become Oozaru. All they have to do is Vegeta starts off the fight, casts one of those fake moons into the sky, turns into a giant blue ape, and just crushes everyone in his way. I mean, realistically, until they cut off his tail, which I'm sure that somebody like Hit would probably be able to do. It would be really interesting, though, because it would, that's one of the things about Dragon Ball Super I've really been talking about since the beginning, that I feel like they really need to switch up the dynamics. So if they just went in a completely different direction, and just for like an arc or something, Goku and Vegeta just use these gigantic forms to try and just smash everything in their way and destroy everything they can, to get ahead in terms of overall power. I mean, obviously they're not going to be blowing up planets and stuff. I mean, they're still not supposed to be bad people, and they can control these forms, but it'd be really interesting to see a character that's like a normal sized human, or somebody like Hit trying to combat a gigantic form like that and trying to use his time skip against something like that. I mean, they never really suggested that they lose speed in that form either, so it's kind of strange when you think about it.
I mean, I believe Vegeta even says, or Goku even mentions in their fight when he's Oozaru that he didn't lose any speed at all.
Yeah, if anything, he got faster. It's kind of funny when you think about that, because when they bulk up their muscles in, the ascended forms of Super Saiyan, the different grades, they get slower, but when they turn to a gigantic King Kong, they don't get any slower at all, and they can apparently keep up with anyone. So
right.
That's just Toriyama logic for you, apparently. Apparently, the muscles on the Super Saiyans weigh more than the gigantic ape.
Well, I mean, granted, the great ape gets his skeleton larger, too.
I guess so. Any final thoughts on this, Josh? I mean, do you think it will come back? I mean, probably not, but I mean, do you think it would be an interesting idea to at least implement for a short period of time?
I think it might be an interesting idea, but the problem is that even though GT came out forever ago, I think the way they did it in GT was cool to unlock a new transformation. But I feel like here, it really would, in my opinion, just be to kind of like do more toys and just kind of be like fan service, really. It wouldn't really be for any huge reason for the entire series.
Yeah, I mean, just look at it. We could sell a giant blue ape. We could sell a giant yellow ape, which we already had in GT.
Well, even the regular one you can re-release the old ape versions and do ones with the new armor, even though they have their old armor again now, but
for some reason
Goku would be naked, I guess. unless his gi now stretches.
I guess that's a good way to get the female demographics up. I mean, just have Goku turn, into an Oozaru and lose his clothes every single time. Hey, I mean, whatever floats your boat, I guess. But this has basically been our thoughts talking about whether or not Oozaru will come back into Dragon Ball Super, or whether or not, it was an interesting idea and how it could be implemented. Let us know your own thoughts down below. Do you like the Oozaru transformation? Did you like what they did within GT to, I guess, set up the Super Saiyan 4 transformation? And do you think it'd be interesting maybe to revisit, even if they do some kind of crossover with GT at some point? I mean, you never know at this point. Let us know your own thoughts down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, check out Josh's channel, and as I always say, stick around, because there's a lot more to come in the future.
What? What do you want? Why are you still watching the fucking video? Do you expect me to say something? Well, I know what you expect me to say, but I'm not going to say it. Rubber baby buggy bumpers.